Approximately 10:30 this morning, the Littleton Police Department received a 911 call reporting a house fire at 27 Lake Warren Drive. On arrival, companies discovered heavy smoke coming from all four sides of the building. Upon making entry to the building, they did discover a deceased individual in the basement. At the time, we did have a concern related to a natural gas odor, so all companies were removed from the building in order to remain safe. So there was very little fire upon arrival, and we're still trying to determine through the investigation process as to why the fire was minimal at that time when we arrived. Like I said, there was a heavy smoke condition as well.
The investigation is very much in its preliminary stages. Troopers from the State Fire Marshal's Office, troopers assigned to the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office are currently conducting a fire scene examination. There is fire to a portion of the basement. It is in that area where the fire occurred that the deceased was found. So the investigators are clearly concentrating their efforts in that particular area. We are too early into the investigation to surmise any type of a possible preliminary cause or to determine what nature, if any, the gas played in the incident itself.
I'm not sure if it was a gas explosion or...
That's correct. All that we know at this time is that the preliminary report from the 911 call and indication upon arrival of the fire department was that there was an odor of gas, but we cannot at this point jump to a conclusion that would indicate that the presence of gas was the cause of the fire.
Marshal, was the original call from the deceased occupant or from a neighbor?
No, my understanding it was from a neighbor, that the neighbor saw smoke and smelled gas, indicating that there was a fire at this residence.
So you didn't receive any call from the residence itself?
Negative. There was no call from the inside of the home.
So how do you know it was an explosion?
Well, I am not calling it an explosion. Okay. I'm still calling it a fire. Okay. And as you look at the house itself, you'll see that on the exterior on the first floor there are windows that are taken out. That was not as a result of a fire/explosion. Those windows were taken out by the fire department as a method of safely ventilating the property to make the property safe for the entry of the firefighters. So there clearly was a fire. There's clear evidence of a fire in the basement of the home. There is evidence of the presence of gas and potentially a gas leak. But at this point, that's as far as the investigation gets us. The actual cause of this incident, when it is determined, the information will be released from the District Attorney's Office in Middlesex upon the completion of the autopsy.
Marshal, is there anything of a suspicious nature to this, or is this being handled as a crime scene, or is this more looking at something?
Well, again, because it's in the early stage of the fire, it would not be fair to suggest that anything has been eliminated as a potential cause. But I will say this, that right now there are no red flags that the investigators are focusing on that would lead us to look at it as a suspicious fire. But again, it's very early on in the investigation.